here. I'm so interested in seeing what him and Quinn Ewers do this year. There's been so much hype.
We should have a pretty dangerous running back in Blake Corum.
Maryland's got Talia Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
A little too backyard football.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And it's Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. So you know what that means. Ipso facto, one of the newest days of Let's Talk College Football. And you see who I'm with, my guy and the host of Restoring the Roar, Alex Loosemore. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. It's kind of crazy to think, like, we just finished all that draft stuff. Seems like just yesterday was the national championship, and Georgia whooping TCU, and now we're already looking ahead to next season. Double-digit days away, and it's just, like we said, college football is a 365-day kind of game.
Absolutely. It just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop between the transfer portal, between coaches leaving and coming back, different rules coming out. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different stuff that's going on. So there's always something in the repertoire. And like you alluded to, man, 87 days, baby. 87 days until college football. I looked up a couple things in reference to 87. I'll go with the positive first. 1987, the Miami Hurricanes win their second national championship over Oklahoma. That's the team that had Jimmy Johnson as their head coach, Michael Irvin as one of their wide receivers. It was a stacked team. Absolutely amazing. In honor of it being 87 days, I think we got to go to one of the classic teams, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And like you said, that team was absolutely loaded. And anytime you're beating Oklahoma in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you're beating a very good football team.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, this team at that era, I mean, they had the Schnellenberger years where they, won in 83 in the Rose Bowl. But in this era, you think about it, 86, they were in the national championship with Vinny Testaverde. Unfortunately, lost to Penn State. This year, they get in the national championship at 87, 88. They get the national championship, get the W. Jimmy Johnson gets the recognition that he just so deserved. But then the following year, they got to play Notre Dame in the famous convicts versus Catholics versus convicts game where they just lose, just barely, and they miss the national championship. I mean, this team, you want to talk about a dynasty in the 80s. Miami, the U. That was a squad, man.
Yeah, well, and then, I mean, you look at some of the teams, just Miami in general has had, like, you think those early 2000s teams, late 90s, early 2000s, and just the amount of NFL talent that was on those teams. Like, you had 3 NFL running backs at one point. You had Ray Lewis. You had, just unreal. Sean Taylor, it's just, I hope Miami can get back to those days because that was a fun period of football.
Yeah. And that's the only thing that stinks about reminiscing about that is that you look at Miami now and it's just like, oh man, how far they have fallen, man. I mean, people and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people regard that 2001 team, I think it is, as one of the greatest of all time. I mean, that team, like you said, was loaded top to bottom. I mean, every one of those players is having some kind of success or coaching or some influence in the NFL. And it's just a credit to them, man. It's the U, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at it, they are listed right up there with that 06 Texas, that I think it's 2019 LSU team. That Miami team is arguably the best college football team ever assembled.
Oh yeah. And it shows how many documentaries, how many 30 for 30s did they do on that team? You know what I mean? Come on now. So that is one of the little connections to the number 87. Unfortunately, when I first looked up and put in the little Google thing, 87 days until college football season, another 87 came up, and it was 87. Jim Brown passes away at 87, the NFL legend, Hall of Famer. Some people and most people regard him as, if not the best, one of the top three greatest running backs. Yeah, exactly. I'm a Barry guy, but I love Jim Brown as the best. He did more for this sport, for running backs, for everything, and I absolutely love it. But since this is a college show, got to shout him out for his college attributes. Guy went to Syracuse, rushed, and out of 3 years, rushed for over 2,000 yards, 2,211 yards, and 21 touchdowns. Averaged for his career 5.9 yards average, almost 6 yards every time this man touched the ball. I mean, come on now. His best year was 1956, over 1,000 yards and 14 TDs. And mind you, this is 1956. You know what I mean? There's not as many games. You know what I mean? And so him getting those numbers, he ended up placing, I believe, 5th in the Heisman race that year, and then getting picked up in 1957 by the Cleveland Browns, 6th overall, man. And his NFL career, that. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing what he was able to do. And in an era that necessarily wasn't the most kind and positive towards, people that look like him, man. But he stood his ground for everything he believed in. And, his game on the field was just a small part of the greatness that he was.
Absolutely. And I mean, you look at it from the football perspective, he changed the game. Like he defined what it meant. Like he's listed as a fullback, but he defined the running back position. That ability to be physical, to make guys miss, to run with the ball. Like he revolutionized the position. We don't get players like Barry, like Emmitt Smith, like Walter Payton doing what they do without people like Jim Brown leading the way.
Absolutely. And Johnny Dean is in the comments. Sorry, I didn't see his 100 days till NFL. Can't put that. Yep. I saw it after I clicked it.
Yeah.
No, you guys really don't want to see
I do.
Big 3 Florida. I would love to see that. Bring it back. Absolutely bring that back. Yeah.
See, none of them are in my conference, so I would love to see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't love it as much, but for the love of the game, I would absolutely love to, man.
Yeah.
Jim Brown was a superstar lacrosse player. Few people realize just how awesome this man was. Absolutely right, Johnny. Absolutely right. So, hey, 87 days until the college football season is back. So there is news left and right. There is a little bit of news that I talked to Alex about before. Ex-Wisconsin coach Paul Chryst joins Texas as an offensive analyst. Alex, I mean, hey, you don't hear about him for a while, and then all of a sudden he reemerges as helping out Steve Sarkisian and that Texas team that's supposed to be doing something this year. What does this mean for these guys?
It makes this dynamic offense that much more dynamic. When you told me this, my first thought was, damn, I wish he could have been there to work with Bijan Robinson, because you've seen what he did with running back after running back after running back at Wisconsin, and man, if he got his hands on Bijan Robinson, fireworks. But I mean, he's gonna make that running game that much more dynamic, which is gonna open the field up so much more for, I still believe it's going to be Quinn Ewers. And it's gonna make that offense even more electric than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this year that Quinn Ewers has. I mean, you and I both kind of feel like it's going to be him, because I, for one, am not just going to buy into somebody off of their name. Honestly, we've seen what the young Manning, Arch Manning, has done in high school, but this is a whole different ball game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's see what he does on the field if he gets those opportunities. Hopefully he does not. However, Hudson Card got an opportunity last year because Quinn Ewers went down early. So if Quinn Ewers has injury issues, we might be seeing Arch early, but this can only help them as a team and just to build.
Yeah.
And because, like you said, it would have been great if he had him last year, but now there is a hole because not only did they lose Bajan, but they lost Roshan Johnson too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see who's coming up and filling in those slots and because they were definitely a cushion for Quinn Ewers if he got in trouble or Hudson Card.
Yeah. On just on that Quinn Ewers. Well, I'll save the Quinn Ewers thing for when we get to quarterbacks. I'll save that.
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys joining us. Scott Thaler is in the comments. I see you. You said first, but then Johnny said it on YouTube, so you both first. We got something for you, Scott. It's not a prize, but you get to talk about something you really like talking about. Your favorite college team, maybe a little mascot in the game. But before we do that, we got to talk about quarterbacks, man. You see who's behind me. We've talked about it. This guy's got a quarterback that is ready to have another breakout season. And let's look at it coming into this upcoming season. There's a bunch of guys that went to the draft. We've seen it. Will Levis, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Hendon Hooker, et cetera, and so on. Anthony Richardson. Who's coming back? We know Caleb he's going to come back. Drake Maye will come back, but who else will be on that list of coming back guys to potentially do something big this year? So I'm going to bring up the list. What we got? There we go. All righty. As you can see, some of these names on this list, obviously Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, Michael Pennix Jr., Jordan Travis, Bo Nix, some of these guys. What are your thoughts about that list? Shout out to Big Game Boomer on Twitter, man, making a couple of these lists. What are your thoughts about his top five? How does it compare to yours?
The top five is very similar. I have a couple changes. I'll go 5-1. My number 5 is Bo Nix, so we're on par there. I think what he was able to do with Oregon showed a lot of what his flaws were at Auburn were just more the team than him. I really like what he brings to the table, and I think he's potentially a first-round guy in next year's draft. Number 4 for me, Michael Pennix Jr. from Washington. Again, another guy I absolutely love. Like, this is, to me, your top 6, 7, your top 10 quarterbacks are really, really good this year. But for me, Pennix 4. Number 3 for me, Sam Hartman from Notre Dame. I love what he brings to the table. He can do it all. He's not as good of a runner as Pennix, but just what Sam can do with his arm, he can throw it all over the field. Very accurate. I can't wait to see Notre Dame with a legit quarterback because Sam Hartman is absolutely that. And then number 2 and number 1, even though the top 10 is great, they separate themselves. It's those two here, and then the other guys like here. There's a big gap. These two are the elite quarterbacks. Everyone else is just really good. Number 2 for me, Drake Maye. And number 1 is Caleb Williams. And it's almost 1A, 1B because they are so flipping close to me. You can make the argument that Maye should be number 1 because he hasn't had the talent of an Oklahoma or USC offensively around him, which is a very good argument to make. So I think it'll be interesting to see this year Caleb Williams without Jordan Addison or without those top tier receivers. I know he still has Mario Williams and a couple other very good receivers there. And it'll be interesting to see what Drake Maye does for you guys again this year. But I know you like to think Drake Maye is coming back.
It's happening.
I would put money on it. I would almost guarantee it right now that those are your top 2 picks in next year's draft.
Woo!
I think it's the case.
If it happens, I would not be surprised. But look, let me give you my top 5 before I go into Drake Maye staying in 2024. All right. My 5 for me, number 5 for me is Jordan Travis. I think he has tremendous upside. You've seen all those wide receivers that have come to Florida State. That defense and Norvell's got them going. So this is his year to prove it for me. He did great last year, but now the attention's on him, kind of like with Drake Maye. So I want to see him prove it with the cameras, with the bright lights, with all that stuff on him. Number 4 for me, Michael Pennix Jr. Love what he did after transferring from Indiana, going to Washington, and being in a number of primetime games. I watched that game they played last year against Michigan State, where he put that team on his back, and he had a number of highlight plays. So you're sitting here like, ooh, watch out. Then did it again, and then was able to play really big against UCLA, even though I believe they lost that game because they were undefeated for a while. But played his heart out. So exactly. So I got to put Pennix up there. I got to definitely put him in. He's my number 4. 3, you know what it is. It's going to be Sam Hartman for me. Now him being able to go to this team, have weapons, have a prestigious place to play at where, I really feel like that's going to cater to his skill set and how well he plays. And now under this new coach, I'm interested to see if there's any transition period where maybe it comes out a little slower. Remember last year he was out for the first couple games with the undisclosed injury before finally coming back against Vanderbilt. So I'm looking to see what Sam Hartman can do, especially with a full slate of games, and it's going to be a heck of a season. So if he can come out of it, like you mentioned a week ago, if he could come out of this season unscathed and playing top tier football, hey, he's got to be mentioned up there in your Heisman candidacy. But yeah, 1 and 2, 1A, 1B, Caleb Williams, Drake Maye. I'm going to put Caleb Williams above because he has played in far more high pressure, top tier, where the lights are top tier games where the lights are on and he's got to show up. He's dealt with adversity. He's been with 2 different teams, albeit the same coach and a coaching guru. It's still, the fact that you're able to come in off the bench in one situation and just shine in the biggest moment and then go to another place and then shine. But like you said, the defense, we know that their issues, the loss of all these receivers. Let's see if he can still do it. And as far as my guy, the schedule says it all. The schedule absolutely says it all. You mentioned it when we talked about it last week, starting off with South Carolina, who's no slouch, then App State, who gave us everything we can handle, Minnesota, we know what they bring, and then Pitt, having a couple, easy games in the middle, but then ending with a Duke, Clemson, and NC State, and then potentially the big the ACC championship if we make it that far. He's another one, just like Sam Hartman. You got to show me. He's got to light it up, and he's going to have to play great. If they have a 6-4, 7-5, something like crazy like that kind of season, that's where I think it's in question. And I don't think it's going to be on him like Sam Howell his last year. It's not going to be as much on about Drake Maye or them. It's going to be the lack of support that he might have. So we're looking to see what support and help he has. But those are my top 5. And I just, like you said, 1 and 2, head and shoulders above the rest. Oh,
yeah.
So, but yes. So let us move on down the list. We went from the studs. Now let's talk to sleepers. Let's talk to some guys maybe we don't know about. And actually, shout out to Johnny, who was saying, I want to see Devin Leary. He's one of those guys that's transferred. Shedeur Sanders. But before we talk about any of this, you got to answer this one. Where does Alex put JJ McCarthy, your quarterback? Doesn't look like he's that high up on the list. They have him down.
Him being down at 16 is ridiculous, in my opinion.
Right. That's very surprising. I love Cam Rising, but he's better than Cam. He's better than Rising.
Yep.
He's certainly better than Michael Pratt of Tulane.
Yeah.
So this is what. So what do you? I would know what you think about this, but what do you think as far as this list? Where does he stand?
To me, I put JJ at 9. That's where I put him. There was a couple guys where I kind of debated, okay, is he really better than him? Is he kind of even with them? So my 9 to, I'll say 11, 12 is very even. But I had, like, you had Jordan Travis 5, I had him 6. And again, him and Bo Nix were very close. 7 and 8, I went Jaden Daniels of LSU, Jalen Daniels of Kansas. I really like Jalen Daniels. So I had them ahead of JJ. But I don't really, there's not any other quarterbacks where I look and say they're definitely better than JJ.
No. Yeah. And I look at, and I'm trying to look at that list above. Daniel just said Milton, Austin Reed. I love what he does in that offense, but will it fare against a powerhouse? Will it fare against a Power 5, one of these top tier teams? So I would definitely question that. Shedeur Sanders, I'm sorry, I haven't seen anything from D1 this level of football, so I can't put him up that high at all.
Yeah.
I will say I love where they have Frank Harris. He put up some good tape. He's definitely a good quarterback, and let's see if he can push it. Let me see. You see,
he's my number 10 actually.
Really? Yeah.
Frank Harris. Yeah.
I would. Yeah, because I could definitely see him up above. Yeah, I would take Reed out of the top 10, and I'd move Harris up to probably in that number in that 10, 11 spot. I still don't see Shedeur Sanders doing it. You know, maybe Cam Rising.
My 9 to 12 I said they were pretty much even, was JJ, Frank Harris, Cam Rising, and Riley Leonard. To me, those 4, I had them all kind of in their own separate tier.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got to say, I agree. I also think that it's to have KJ that far. Devin Leary's another one. He had a bad year last year. I don't think he's so far down this list. Surprises me.
The same reason we're talking about Shedeur Sanders can't be that high. Carson Beck and Kyle McCord can't be that high. They haven't played.
Exactly. Thank you.
And to me, I put Cade Klubnik over them. We've seen Klubnik play, and we've seen him ball when the lights are bright. Same with Drew Aller.
Right.
He got in a fair bit last year, and he played very well. So to me, I can't put McCord and Beck above those guys. Not until I see them play. To me, they're a tier under Leary, Jefferson, even Rattler, McCall, those guys, where it's kind of even I'll throw Klubnik and Aller in that tier at the top of that tier, but that's that show me tier. I need to see that you can play at this level.
Yeah, because to sit here and say that you got a Carson Beck, a McCord, a Pratt, some of these guys, and number 29 in front of Will Rogers, who has been top 5 in passing. I understand he lost his coach, but they didn't change the system. You know, he's still got the talent and he's still got the numbers to back it up. So having him down there that far is just, that's a travesty. I don't like that.
There's a ton that I would change with this list. 100%. There's a ton I would change. Quinn Ewers at 35, to me, he needs to be way higher. The 40s I don't really hate. Again, I think Dante Moore being above Slovis, McNamara, Schrader, who balled out last year for Syracuse, Plumlee, there's some guys down there that I would move up, but I'm glad they're on the list. DJ Ukulele's another one. I understand he struggled at Clemson, but I don't think when you really break him down as a quarterback, I don't think he's nearly this far. Right above Diago Pavia, we've seen him play. We talked about him in the bowl games a year ago, but DJ is he's far better than him, especially in this system. So
Yeah, man, it's interesting. There's definitely a lot of things that need to be moved, but at the same time, I wonder how this will all pan out. And one of the things that makes me really wonder about that is that there's a lot of this same team or same QB, new team. We talk about DJ Ukulele. We talk about Phil Jerkovich. Devin Leary was brought up. You mentioned a couple guys to me off camera that are on this list. JT Daniels, Peyton Thorne. There is a number of quarterbacks that are going that have moved, via the transfer portal or whatever, or have graduated and, moved on to other different schools. Who of these quarterbacks, who do you think can have actual success as opposed to hopping around like Slovis or JT Daniels?
I mean, the clear front runner is Sam Hartman. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But then you look at it, I think Tanner Mordecai going from SMU to Wisconsin, that's a sneaky good one. It'll be interesting to see what Shadur Sanders can do at Colorado with D1 talent, or against D1 talent. A lot of these guys, Hudson Card for me is an underrated one, a sneaky good one. Like you said, we saw how he played at Texas last year when yours went down. Him at Purdue, that's going to be a lot of fun to see. And then, I mean, you look at some of these guys, it's going to be a lot on the scheme. Brennan Armstrong, how's he going to fare with the new scheme there at NC State? I mean, DJ Uwangalele, we both think that it's a great fit for him. We actually got to see it on the field, though. Cade McNamara, if Iowa allows him to play quarterback, that offense can be very good. Especially, I mean, he'll have that connection with Eric All, the tight end that transferred with him from Michigan. Iowa always does amazing things with tight ends, so that worries me a little bit. But if they actually allow McNamara to play quarterback, that'll be very good for them. Devin Leary, we'll have to see what the talent kind of is around him. And Kedon Slovis at BYU, that's an interesting one. Jaron Hall's out the door. Let's see if he can finally be what everyone touted him to be when he was at USC.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple other names we'll talk about. You mentioned Jeff Sims going to Nebraska. He definitely got slept on because he was at Georgia Tech. But towards the end of that year, they were really starting to figure it out and work it together.
Yeah.
Now he's going to Nebraska. We all know Rule, the coach, the Panthers' old coach, the guy that was at Baylor a couple years back. Now he's over there paired with this guy. I mean, hey, you got a great athlete in a quarterback. And I mean, it's great to start where you're not having to start from scratch. You're having to start with somebody that actually can play the system that you're trying to run.
Yep.
So, let me see.
And Phil Jerkovich.
I really want to see what he's able to do. He's a gutsy guy. I love to see him perform at Boston College. And now having him at Pitt with Narduzzi at head coach, who's a gritty, gutsy. You know what I mean? I want to see if that can translate over there. Who were they saying? They were saying Donovan went back to Cuba.
their Bucks joke, yeah.
Oh man, good old Ben. What's going on, Ben? Yeah, so this is interesting. One name I want to say, and this is for Will, Spencer Rattler, 23. Highly touted years ago as the second coming of greatness at Oklahoma. Obviously, we know what happened. Caleb Williams came in, took his job. Rattler then transferred the next year to South Carolina. It's been up, it's been down. Even though the team and the coach, they had a great 5-6 game run. His play was iffy. On this list, he's 23rd. Is that too high? Is that too low? I mean, middle of the pack, what do you think?
I don't hate that spot for him because that to me is kind of in that section. He's arguably the top of that section where those highs are really, really high. Like, I mean, you look at that Clemson game last year, he balled out against Clemson, played very well. But then there's games where he looks awful, and you're like, why is this guy starting quarterback for a Div 1 team? So it's just he's got to figure it out. I don't know if it's mentally, if he's just not reading defenses right, or what the issue is there. But man, when he's on, he is one of the better quarterbacks in college football. He's got to be that way consistently.
Yeah.
If he figures it out, he's a first-round pick.
Well, and that's the thing that kind of always worried me or troubled me with him, is that he's so highly touted. And like you said, when he's on, he's on. But when he's not, or when he has any kind of what it seems like adversity, it's just, I mean, you don't want him at all. He just is not a good look. I remember after Caleb Williams kind of came and took the job, he just looked like he was pouting all the time. Yeah. And I get it. You know, you were the main guy at one of the big schools in Oklahoma, and now you're on the bench. But we've seen stuff like that before. Jalen Hurts dealt with it with Tua Tagovailoa in the national championship, and still, you know, found out how to overcome that. Now
he was a class act about it.
Well, right, and that's saying a lot. Not everybody can do that. You know, you're going to be bitter, but at the same time, Spencer just consistency and motivation. Where's his head at? That's always been questions for me.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Rattler is not good. Not a good QB. His headscape is off. I'm telling you, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Carson Beck. We're interested to see what he brings to the table. The fact that he's so high, probably because he's on Georgia, the defending national champion, but he hasn't done anything. He hasn't played a snap.
And I think that kind of feeds into one of Ben's comments earlier about Jordan Travis. Is a lot of this is, yes, we're looking at these quarterbacks, but you also got to look at what they have around them. Jordan Travis arguably has the best group of receivers in the nation.
Right.
Like Keon Coleman going there on top of what they already had. Just the rich getting richer there with weapons. And I mean, Carson Beck, you got Brock Bowers. You've got weapons galore. And I mean, thank you. I just blanked on his name. Kyle McCord for Ohio State. You get the best receiver in college football, and Marvin Harrison Jr. to throw to.
Right.
And I mean, they never have a shortage of receivers. So, again, weapons galore there. So, yeah, it's just like some of these guys are ranked as high as they are because of what they have to work with.
Right. And look, let's hit it up real quick. We got one pick as somebody that nobody's heard of on this list, and this is going to be our guy that's going to come out the woodworks. I'm going John Rice Plumlee out of Central Florida.
I like it.
We called his name a number of times a year ago, and in this offense, this dude actually, I believe he played baseball for a while and had to pick between the two and excelled at both. So yeah, I love him. Who do you think?
For mine, I'm kind of thinking Curtis Rourke from Ohio.
Ooh, oh yeah.
I like him, and just small school for Div 1, playing in the MAC. But, man, I mean, these Ohio quarterbacks and the Rourke family in particular, they know what they're doing there at Ohio for quarterback. Look for this guy to ball out this year. They always put up good numbers.
I love that pick. I absolutely love that pick. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. So, hey, you guys, check it out. Stay tuned. We're going to definitely be diving into other positions down the list. We're going to look at some of the lists that Big Game Boomer has put up. Again, check him out on Twitter. This isn't necessarily the list and how we think it is, but it just kind of gives us the names and the majority of the guys that are a little higher up there so that we can kind of keep you guys abreast of who's out there, who's coming back, what to look forward to, as we get into this upcoming season. What do you say?
Going with Gunnar Watson because of his first name.
Okay. Out of Troy. Oh, yeah. I can dig it.
I like it.
Absolutely dig it. Yo, all right. We are going to move on real quick because, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get you guys involved. We want you guys to help us in honor of this being the last year of the Final Four, the CFP, and next year, us going into the 12-team tournament, what we've been asking for. We will be doing a 12 mascot tournament, and we're kind of going to break it down like in March Madness, things like that. I'm going to send it over to you, Alex. Help me explain what exactly we're going to be doing and how the fans are going to help us out.
Yeah, so it's kind of going to be, it'll be very similar to March Madness. So I think we've picked, if I'm not mistaken, 48 different mascots is what we're going to kind of make into this bracket. And with that 12-team playoff coming, we're going to do 4 different sections of 12. Kind of show you what that playoff will look like, just kind of in each different section. Mithra, that's a good pick. That'll absolutely be in there. Probably one of the 1 seeds for that, or one of those brackets. But we'll do 4 separate 12-team brackets, and then we'll break it down in those final 4. The champions of those 4 we'll put into a final 4 and see what the overall champion is. And what we were thinking is, because me and Sean both play that NCAA 14, they have that mascot mashup mode where you can play as the mascot. So we're thinking we'll do 1 bracket with you guys as the fan vote, the 48 teams, and we'll kind of progress it as it goes. And then we'll do a bracket as well on NCAA 14 and see what their best mascot is. Obviously, everything's 99 overall for the mascots, but we'll see who wins, who comes out on top for them.
Oh, yeah. So
we're already getting some answers here.
Right. So that's why we need you as the fan, as the viewer, to give us some of your mascots. Now, like Alex alluded to, I gave him about 51 to reuse about 48 of the mascot pictures, and we're gonna get a way to put it on an actual bracket so we can send it to you. But yeah, throw us some of the mascots that you guys love in here. I'm gonna give some of my favorites. Obviously, Ramses, North Carolina, no mistake. Everybody knows that. It's iconic. Everybody knows it mainly, though, for basketball. But football is definitely, we still got him running around the sidelines.
Yeah.
Who we got in here? Johnny said the Buffs mascot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Can't remember what his name is, but to have those live mascots, they'll probably have to, I think we'll throw them all in their own bracket. Well, they'll all be in the same bracket. Obviously, there's not 12 live mascots, so we won't do a bracket just of those, but they'll all be in their own bracket.
And that's the crazy part when not the ties. Yeah, that's the crazy part when I started looking it up. When I just put in 50 mascots or the best mascots or whatever, it came with so many different categories. It was like best dog mascots and best crazy mascots. You know what I mean? So what is your favorite overall mascot? Especially seeing because y'all don't have one, do you? Y'all don't?
No, I can't remember if it's the 80s or the 90s, but they actually used to, obviously it was caged, but they used to have a live Wolverine at the game.
What?
Yeah. Then PETA kind of shut that one down. But they used to have a live Wolverine.
Oh, I can dig it. Wow. That might have been interesting to see. I mean,
all right.
I wouldn't. I'm not trying to approach that.
Yeah, no, I would say far away from that.
But yeah, what's your favorite? What's your?
I think to me the best looking one, and part of me is thinking of NCAA 14 and seeing how they look on there. But the UCF Knight, to me, that was always my favorite to play as. I love the look of that one. I said that because Sparty's a cool one, but he's a little brother, so we'll leave that one. And then to me, I kind of like some of those live animal ones. Georgia, Texas. I mean, even though Texas, they tried to kill Georgia's when they played the bowl game a few years ago.
You see that? Right. Did you see that?
Yeah. The Sun Devil one is very cool.
Yeah.
The Sun Devil one's very cool. Yeah, there's so many good ones to go with. Like Oregon, your guys is the
Ducks.
Gator, like the Badger even. I mean Seminoles, theirs is iconic.
Oh yeah, I'm partial, obviously, to my area, Northern Virginia.
Ramses, yeah.
So I have the Virginia Cavalier. You know,
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Virginia Tech, and it's weird. Everybody's like, "Really, you live in Virginia?" I've not been a fan, and I'm not a fan of the Hokie, that bird, or any of that. I love their intro music, though. I love them.
It's the best one. It's the best one. Nothing beats it.
Hyped for it. Yeah, you want to get hyped for a game, that's where you're going. That's absolutely where you're going.
I wish, because like when I played, we had all the hype music and all that, and came out of our tunnel and all that. But man, coming out to enter Sandman, a crowd that big and rocking like that's something else. Like me as a Michigan fan, like listening to the Big House and Happy Valley when they whiteout is a spectacle of its own. But that stadium and Enter Sandman and the whole 9 yards of that, nothing beats it to me.
I mean, honestly, it really does.
Ben, stop it.
I knew it. I saw it.
No,
like the Brutus one.
That's all the way. If I get to do the cuts, that's out.
You're right. Edited, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, I get that. I have a similar hatred for certain Devils that are blue, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We don't speak about them. Being a Michigan fan is like the wow.
Hey, wow. So this season we're probably hitting 1,000 wins, which nobody else will have hit. So just throwing that out there.
Ooh.
11 wins away from 1,000.
Wow. And we're gonna definitely dive into that because I think y'all can get 11 fairly easy if
you know what game that would be. If we're on pace, that's the Buckeyes game, yeah.
Oh, man, what a game that would be. Is it there or is it at home?
We host.
Oh,
if we're undefeated going into that game, we host the Buckeyes for 1,000 wins.
Oh, wow. That'd be fitting.
That'd be pretty. Nothing would be better. Wow. Nothing would be better.
And if they lose, are you getting the khakis on? Are you going to do that? Are you going to agree to that this year?
I'll do the khakis again. If that,
woo!
I'll do the deal from last year. If the Big Ten East is on the line in that game, I'll wear khakis.
There it is
for this show and the NFL edition.
Book it.
Yeah,
there it is, live on there. Yeah, I feel you. Wait, it's pretty quiet. It's quite a college for this. Def Leppard, I love that.
Okay, yes. I love the back and forth.
Yeah, coming with guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
So, hey, obviously of the East Coast, we got the, Maryland Terrapins played on their field. Love them. Got to shout out my JMU Dukes. Let's go. Dukes getting that title.
Man, I wore the khakis.
Whoop.
So what had happened was I didn't have them for the Buckeyes game, but I wore it for the playoff game. I wore it for the playoff game. Go back and look if you don't believe me. I wore it for the playoff game. Townsend, yeah.
Yeah, definitely Townsend. So look, definitely let's bring out all of the mascots, any of the ones that you may think of, someone that might be far left or far right, someone that might be, out there that you might never even heard of. Alex indeed wear the khakis. There we go. Vouch for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us some of your teams that you think. And look, also, there's a number of things we're going to be doing going into the season. One of those things being who has the best entrance. I mean, that's a great question because it is about what you love. But at the same time, like we talked about, Enter the Sandman, there's nothing like it. We're seeing Clemson run down or the smoke at Miami. There's nothing like some of these, man. Oh, here we go.
I saw that. That's
right.
why I started smirking. I was just like, oh, man, here we go. Look,
and Chris, man, I tried to find a Commodore. I heard you guys got a new mascot. It's supposed to be the sexiest mascot around, the Commodores. They switched it up because the old one was looking rough. The Army Navy midshipman entrance is amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, and like Misador said, Chief Asiaga, was it Asiaga?
Osceola, I believe.
Osceola, that entrance always been one of my favorites of all time. Him coming up with the flaming spear and then going right into the ground. Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard that. I might have to look into that. Oh, absolutely. Osceola. Okay, nice. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, so definitely stay tuned. We will have that for you. We're going to get that stuff going after the show. We're doing, Chris, just in case you didn't hear before, we are going to be doing, in honor of the 12-team national championship tournament next year, we're going to be doing a 12-team little kind of March Madness-esque mascot challenge where we're going to start. Everybody's going to choose which mascots they love, and you'll see different mascots, moving ahead in the challenge and facing others. We're going to start it from 48, and we're going to do, it was what, four rows of 12?
Yeah, 4. So kind of like how March Madness has the 4 brackets of 16, essentially. Yeah. We're going to do 4 brackets of 12. Yep. So then everyone can kind of see. So obviously the top 4 teams will get their bye to the second round. And then 5 will go against 12, 6, 11, 7, 10, 9, and 8. And then, so you guys will vote on the matchups. I'll set up the bracket right after the show here. We'll try and get it posted hopefully tonight. And then give you guys a week to vote on this. Share it to all your friends. Get as many votes in on it as possible.
Yeah. Definitely, because so every week as we come back, we're going to keep showing the results, who won, who lost, and who's moving on. Let me see. Hold up. I have a screen share. The strangest school mascot. What is? Oh, I gotta send this to you. Was that a kale? Was that kale? All right, I just sent it to you, Alex. That is definitely the strangest mascot, Chris. Might just need to throw that in there.
What?
Right. It's like, wait, what is that?
What school is that?
Who's that?
Oh, it's the one he was talking about, the Scottsdale Community College Fighting Artichokes.
No. Oh, I love it. If they were D1, I mean, it might be. We could definitely do something for strangest mascots because that one.
Yeah, that'll be up there.
Yeah, let's get. I don't know if it beats Stanford's The Tree or what is it, Western Kentucky, whatever that thing
big
is.
Red,
Big Red.
Wow.
This mascot is weird. What do they have? They're
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Thundering Wave, but. Yeah, so definitely we're going to be looking at, Alex is looking up who the Tulane mascot is.
Riptide the Pelican.
Huh. Okay. I guess I get that.
All right.
Right. Yeah. Your face says it all. Like,
yeah, he's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. It was showing a different one for some baseball team. Oh, the Norfolk Tides, the Orioles AAA team. That was the one I thought. That was the one I saw at first, and that one's weird. That ain't no pelican.
Right. It's like, what is that?
Tulane, so yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's still a pelican. It looks normal.
Yeah, it's a pelican, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Stanford's mascot is tough. It's tough to build up because I don't know what even the pieces to that thing is just weird. It feels like everything's falling off.
Yeah, I kind of like that one because of they'll mess with it. They'll throw googly eyes on it. They'll throw different stuff on it to make it different almost every time.
Yeah.
So,
you need to. Just like Oregon's uniforms. But look, yo, guys, so definitely stay tuned. We're going to be doing that.
Tiger.
Can someone tell me if armor is an eagle or a tiger? Right, and they do have War Eagle, but they have the tiger mascot.
Yeah.
And they have that eagle that flies at the beginning of each of those games. Oh, how about a Buckeye?
How about no?
Yeah, you're right about to say. We
were talking about the best mascots and iconic ones. We didn't even mention Notre Dame.
Yeah. You have to go. But that's even weird, though, because I look at it and I'm like, the Notre Dame picture, that is what I remember. I never really got on board with their mascot, the guy.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
It was always a weird embodiment of the caricature that they have, because the caricature is like, oh, okay, I love that.
Yeah.
And the person is like, I mean, it doesn't work. For some teams, it works. West Virginia, the Mountaineer, that guy's from West Virginia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it fits. But
Chief Osceola.
Right, exactly. It fits. You know what I mean? So
the Trojan for USC riding in on the horse with those all fit.
Right.
Notre Dame, while iconic, it does look weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get on board. But let's see. The Bearcats, Cincinnati. Do bananas and biscuits count? In these very French. What oh man. Yes. So definitely get involved. We're gonna post that up today. Definitely tune in. Give us whoever you think there if you have different mascots, ones that we haven't heard of. But we're gonna stick it to D1 because there's already 130 plus teams. So
way too many.
Right. So definitely just give us your thoughts on that, and we will bring that up and bring it down the line toward the season. But before we let you go, because we're coming to the end, we are risky, we are dangerous, and we love going for two. Yeah, buddy. We are going for two. Alex, what you got today?
So mine's going to kind of go off of what I said to start the show. Seems like just yesterday we were watching the national championship, talking about the draft, and now we're already 87 days away from the start of college football. So just enjoy the time you got while it's here, because time flies. Like, we're already just about halfway to the halfway point of the year. Yep. Just enjoy the present. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past. Just enjoy the now.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna piggyback off that. Enjoy it. Enjoy the people that are close to you. Continually get into contact with folks. Talk to them. Get back and forth with them. And I don't know if y'all are like me, but from time to time, I start to feel like, dang, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to hit them up because they might be doing something. Whatever, what have you. Do it. Go out there, reach out anyway, because you don't know if they're feeling the same way. And then y'all are both sitting here not texting each other and you're both going through the same thing. So sometimes it's good just to have these type of back and forth, talking back with you guys and stuff like that. It makes you feel like you're still living, like you're still, here against all the other mundane stuff you do from job to home to school or whatever and back and repeat, So
yeah.
So yes.
Sorry, I guess.
No, I know. Hey, I was right there too. I was like, dang, it got dark. It was light when we started the show. So it's like, all right.
It's storming, so I hear the rain, so I'm just like, it's just kind of like, relaxing.
Right. Good old meditation music and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Let's Talk College Football. We so appreciate you tuning in and joining us, talking college football. We gave you our look at the quarterbacks for this coming year. Next week, we'll definitely go into some running backs, and we'll dive into more. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know that's my heart. That's my pride and joy. So I'm definitely looking forward to some of these tailbacks going in, and especially because we know the studs from last year. We know the Bijan Robinsons, Rodriguez. Some of these guys, they're no longer there. Gibbs is now with you guys in Detroit. Deuce Vaughn is in Dallas.
I can't wait for that.
Oh, right.
Oh.
So we got a whole new crop of guys that are ready to kind of take the top off. So I'm ready to see what they got. Cannot wait. All righty. Let me see. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. We will definitely be back with you. Stay tuned. Look for all of that stuff that we're doing with the Mascot Challenge. Also be thinking about some of the mascots you might want to maybe suggest that we put in. Who knows? We'll see. And we'll try to make sure that North Carolina doesn't just win, because I have a feeling the votes might be counted a little bit more. But look, we're heading out of here. We will see y'all next time. Appreciate y'all joining us. And, hey, have a good rest of your week, people. Peace, peace.